Cheers, everybody. Welcome to Sips and Scripts, the podcast that brings together the best of both worlds, cocktails and movies. We'll dive into all-time favorite films or explore the latest releases and pair it with a delicious cocktail while we share our thoughts, opinions, and some fascinating behind-the-scenes trivia. My name is Terrell Bernard, and I watch films from time to time.
My name is Kirsten Jackson, and I am a cocktail influencer on lowcountrysocialite.com. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. First, I would like to apologize to everyone for this film that we're about to talk about.
True.
Hey man, apologies out the way early because
that was.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's mighty nice of you to get the apologies out of the way. Terrell,
today what we talking about today, man. This movie today is Divorcing in the Black, the Tyler Perry film that was just released on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, lucky Prime users. What you spending your $150 a year for?
Wow, is it that much now?
Man, every time I see that shit go up, I be like, damn. Well, I'd really be concerned about how much I'm paying for Prime every year.
Yeah, it seems like everything else is going up because I know Netflix went up bad. Like
Netflix steady going up. Netflix is like, they gonna keep it's on auto pay. They not gonna turn it off. Because
I think is it up to like 25 now?
Man, I don't even, like I said, auto pay. I don't even pay no attention. I'd be like, it's still on, so obviously they got the right card.
Well, it I have it through T-Mobile now, and they were like, we only do because it comes free with T-Mobile, and they were like, we only do the option with ads, and I was like, well, I just have to have some ads because Netflix is crazy, ridiculous.
I be crying when I see ads.
I know you have a really strong aversion to ads, and
yeah, ads take you out of it. I don't care what y'all talking about. I want to get back to whatever I was watching, either a show or a movie. I don't need to see like what's that Freeview and Tubi. They'd be like, you be in the middle of a good old movie, and all of a sudden they'd be like, hey, time for a break. Like, no, I didn't ask for your break. I'm trying to watch this movie.
I think it's interesting that you said you were on Tubi and you in the middle of a good movie. Are you sure those two statements needed to go together? Because
I mean, sometimes they have stuff on Tubi that you be like, okay, I've seen this before, like a real movie, not like a Tubi movie, not a Tubi original.
We have a comment that said, "The hell with Netflix." That's
not mad
I'm
at
right
that.
there with you.
Not mad at that because they
right there with you,
taking it and going crazy with it. They like, we gonna make anything.
Yes. Well,
and that's what Tyler Perry decided to do this time.
Oh boy. Well, let's get into it. I guess. So today we are talking about Divorcing the Black, new release. When was it released?
No clue. It didn't have to be.
Well,
it could have been coming soon, and they could have. Just one of the movies that's always coming, but you never see it. You're like, man, when is that movie coming out?
Really coming soon? Well, don't do Tubi. We have a comment that says, "Don't do Tubi." Listen, Tubi all right with me.
Yeah,
Tubi. Some of the stuff on Tubi is just really hilarious.
It is.
But yeah, so the Divorcing the Black film. It's a Tyler Perry film, a film about a young woman who is in an abusive marriage, who is getting a divorce, and I mean, typical Tyler Perry fashion. I mean, yeah. So I guess since it's new, do we discuss our history with the film? I'll tell you mine. Will you tell me yours?
Okay, sure. I
Or you
briefly
can tell
heard
your history with Tyler Perry films as well.
my history with Tyler Perry films, it goes all the way back before he started making films, like when he was doing the plays and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that stuff was fresh, it was new. I was a huge fan. Like when I lived in Arizona, like I watched all the plays, and then when his first feature film came out, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, I went to like kind of like a premiere or a sneak preview of it, saw it in theaters, and I was like, not bad. I was proud. Turn to 2024.
Oh my God.
No longer proud. I'm like, what is he trying to do, or what does he think he's doing, or why is he doing what he's doing? But hey, man, sometimes the quality gets worse when you get money, and this was definitely low quality.
To me, it was a mixture of low and high quality.
Oh, okay.
but we'll get into that.
All right.
My history with the film is, so I saw that it released and everybody was talking about it because that first scene is explosive. So of course everybody, took to Facebook and was going on and on about this movie, new Tyler Perry movie. I saw some mixed reviews and I'm nosy, so people got me. I was like, let me see what's going on. Let me at least see the first scene, see what people are talking about. So I watched it. I had strong feelings about the film. But when I saw everyone was like really talking about it a lot on Facebook, I was like, we should put it on the calendar and do it now since, everyone is really either excited or angry about it. So,
yeah.
So we switched out. We were going to do, what was it? Leave the World Behind. That's what it was.
With
we're going to do Leave the World Behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so we switched that out and put this film in. So I watched it again and I invited a few friends over and we had some food and some cocktails and
it was a party for you. Wow.
It kind of was. But it was a good time. And I will say my disclaimer for this movie is watch it with friends. That is the only way that you will not walk away angry. Because we were sitting there drinking and laughing and like discussing parts of the film. And it was a pretty good experience. And I guess maybe that's what it's all about. So maybe that's what Tyler Perry's doing. I don't know. But this is not a movie that you need to watch by yourself because it is lacking. But, watching it with friends might be best. I don't know. Yes. Wow. We have a comment. Low quality is the Tyler Perry standard.
Damn.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And the thing is, he has so much money to do so much better. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
It's rough. Yeah. Yes, we have another comment. A funky ass time was had. Because that was one of the funniest lines in the film when he's like, here go your funky, enjoy your funky barbecue or something like that. We fell out. So, but before we get into the movie, we got to do a cocktail. So,
yeah, for sure.
Last night when we were reviewing the film, I did some gummy bear martinis, and I was like, man, I should just do those again. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna do another cocktail. So we are going to do a drama daiquiri. Now, Terrell, when you hear daiquiri, what do you think of?
Something frozen, strawberry daiquiri.
No. Original daiquiri wasn't frozen.
Really?
No.
Didn't know. Give me the history of the daiquiri.
It's a classic drink made with rum and lime juice, and it's a sipper in a coupe glass. So we're going to make not a classic daiquiri, but we're going to make a drama daiquiri because this film is a drama, right?
Is it?
Yes, we have a comment that says if he was really country, he would have said funky. Yes. Oh, okay. We have another. See, it was mixed reviews on this. Like, we have another comment that says, I enjoyed the movie. a time was had. Is all I can say.
Yeah, definitely it was a time.
So we're gonna get into our cocktail. We're gonna start with a shaker, and we're going to put some ice in our shaker, and then we are going to add 2 ounces of dark rum. We're going to use Bacardi Black. I mean, because it makes sense, right?
Yeah, because the divorce was in the black.
Yeah, so we're going to use Bacardi Black. And we need 2 ounces of that. So we're going to...
They might need a little more.
Just a little touch more. All right. And then we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice, but we don't have fresh. I'm using the bottle. So be all right. So
real lemon.
We're going to pop that in our shaker. And then 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. I did not make my own this time. I'm using the Rose's simple syrup.
All right.
And we're going to do 1/2 ounce of that. And then 1/4 ounce of grenadine. Gerald, do you remember what flavor grenadine is? I asked you this early in our podcast journey.
Orange.
Nope.
Strawberry.
Nope.
Banana.
Nope.
Damn.
Grenadine is pomegranate. Remember?
I was on my way.
You were taking your time.
Yeah, I was taking the scenic route.
Yes. So we're going to pop 1/4 ounce in there. Then we're going to put the lid on our shaker and, of course, give it a good shake. And so this one goes in a coupe glass. So we've got one here.
Okay.
And we're going to take the top off our shaker and strain our drink. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's a little rosy colored drink. And we're going to garnish it with a dehydrated lime wheel. So
Your favorite.
I know, I do like these things. They're so convenient. Ooh, very good. That's good.
Okay.
Okay. So cheers. And then we're going to get into our film. I know you are just dying to talk about it. But you thought I forgot.
What?
Thought I forgot. It's time for the 60-second recap.
Oh, yay. How could I ever forget that? That's the best part of the show.
Yay. So this is a portion of our podcast where one host challenges the other to a 60-second recap of the film. And so I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock. And then I'm going to count you in.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Ready, Freddy. All right. So this movie is about a woman who works at a bank, who has a husband, who works at a place. Never know where it is.
Yeah, we don't.
And so they are going through some trials and tribulations, and he wants a divorce, but he doesn't want a divorce. But then he does want a divorce. But then he finds out that she's found someone else. So he doesn't want the divorce. He just wants to make her life miserable. So she goes home and her parents are like, oh, we didn't love you enough. And he was like, oh, you don't look happy. And then they were like, well, thank God you're divorcing this guy because he's a terrible guy for you. We've been telling you this for years. And so they argue and fight throughout the movie. She meets some guy who also from her hometown. She has a ghetto friend who talks too much, and the movie ends in a blaze of nothingness.
First of all, a blaze of nothingness.
You tell me how the film ended.
I mean, you're not wrong. A blaze of nothingness is fairly accurate. Well, yes. Okay. So, yes. Thank you for that beautiful recap of the film.
Not a problem. Hey, anytime. I'll tell you about it in 60 seconds or less.
You did.
Especially a movie like this.
Yeah. Terrell, how did you feel when I suggested it? Because I just knew I was going to get pushback from you.
No, actually, I thought it was a good idea because it was something new, and I saw some people talking about it, but I was like, this might be interesting, maybe. And then I was like, even if it's terrible, it's something to watch. Mm-hmm. But now I regret that because I had to watch it.
Oh, well, Terrell, I mean, what were you expecting?
I was expecting more, especially with the who was in the film. I was like, okay, this is a good cast. Mm-hmm. They should be able to take some of Tyler Perry's stuff and make it shine. Yeah. Shine a turd, but there was no shining to this turd.
Yeah. I was like, I got sucked in because, like I said, everybody was talking about it on Facebook. And so I was like, let me watch at least this scene. And it took me all day long to watch the movie because I kept stopping it. And I was like going to do other things. So I finally finished it like in the evening because I started in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the film is about a woman named Ava, played by Meagan Good. She is married to Cory Hardrict's character. What was his name?
Cory Hardrict.
Gosh, what was his name?
Usually I had this stuff up, but I didn't because I was not very
Dallas. Dallas was his name.
Oh, yeah.
It was Dallas.
Because she said it at least 10,000 times throughout the film.
Right, yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Dallas comes from a big family. He's head by his mother and
the Beltran.
Bertrands.
There we go.
Yes. And so the pack of brothers, they're like misfits in the town.
Misfits, they sound like criminals that need to be in jail and they just out free.
It was very weird. Like the scene with the Reverend, he was like, y'all been robbing and raping. And I was like, who go around robbing and raping? Like,
yeah, like, is that what y'all do in that town? That's an hour and a half away from Atlanta.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. Robbing and raping. But yeah, so yeah, a funky good time. So yeah, so anyway, one of the brothers dies, and I suppose it's Ava's idea to have his funeral in the church that her father is the pastor of, which made no sense because the father said it during his eulogy that he was shot and killed when he tried to rob a member of the church.
Yeah. Like,
so why if
it's funeral? Or at least have someone else. You can use the church, but have someone else do the funeral. I can't do your funeral.
I wouldn't even let them use the church. Like, if you robbed a member of the church, like, that is.
I believe that was the only church there. I'm pretty sure that was the one of one churches.
Well, they could have had that funeral at the house, like, because if I'm pastor of a church and it's an elderly member, members are super loyal to churches and they pay their tithes. Mm-hmm. And that would be a huge slap in the face to have the funeral of someone who tried to rob you at
the church you go to.
At the church I've been going here.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, anything is possible, but I just don't see that going
No, anything is not possible. This was a Tyler Perry fever dream of ideas that he was like, I think I'm going to make this today, and just called up some people and started shooting immediately.
But you know, he said that is generally his writing process. Like, he goes off in solitude, and he's the only one, and he just writes his scripts. He churns out like a couple of scripts, and he doesn't have anyone help him. He doesn't have like a writer's room. He just writes his scripts, and he doesn't need any help. And I'm like, you need help.
Yeah, he does need help. And you can tell the difference from when he had help to when he was like, what did he say? Work ethic. When he shouted that out on one of his little posts, when he had like 13,000 scripts piled up about the yay high of straight garbage.
We have a comment that says, now you know a country town has 100 churches. True, Terrell, you know better. That was not the only church in town.
Well, it was. I don't know. I don't even know what town they were in. Wherever they are, they have unlimited supply of gas, and they don't mind driving an hour and a half, 13 times a day. They don't care.
Yeah. That was pretty bad. So, but yeah, so anyway, the marriage between the two main characters is just a disaster, and it's revealed later that the husband is abusive, and gosh, I'm really trying to like unfold this plot, but it was just difficult.
It wasn't nothing to unfold, because that was basically just a throwaway line. That was basically just a throwaway moment. I had to kill him. Next morning, who did you have to kill? Why did you have to? What's going on? I want to talk about you. Talking about last night. I don't remember. I was drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was like a lot of avenues that Tyler Perry could have gone down that would have made this film a little more interesting, but he just decided to ignore them. Yeah. Because, you know, when we have the husband drunk confessing that he killed his father, why we went nowhere with that?
No, not at all. It was just like a new day. Nothing happened yesterday. Like, okay, just start fresh.
Right. And I actually enjoyed the mother's character. She was pretty hilarious.
Was that supposed to be like a Monique type character? Because when I first saw her, I was like, is that Monique?
People keep saying that. That lady did not look like Monique.
That lady did look like Monique. I was like, I'm like, I can't put my finger on it, but this lady looks familiar.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it seemed like it might have been a little sneak diss toward Monique.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know. Maybe Tyler was looking for like a Monique-esque to try and grab that vibe from Precious. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you put them side by side, it would be like, that's the same.
No.
The same mama.
No. Oh my goodness, no. Well, I do have some good things to say about the film, shockingly.
Really? I need to hear this.
I do. But first I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to answer, what would you change about this film?
I don't think there's enough time in the podcast to tell what I would change about this film, because I would change everything. Nothing made sense from the funeral to the very end. I'm like, why is this happening? What is going on? It was so all over the place. It's too incoherent. It's like, even to like when they were showing, I'm like, I need a backstory. I need to know why this family is so hated. I need to know why this mother hates her daughter-in-law. But why is the mother so angry that her kids are bad as hell? Like, why are you mad that your kids is terrorizing this town?
Yeah.
Like, why?
The kids were terrorizing the town, and she was mad. Like, I could not. I needed some more backstory with the mother because it seemed like she enjoyed the fact that her kids were rotten like that.
Yeah.
Like, because she was upset with Ava, and like, all she does is judge my son and try to change him, and I'm like, you might want to be glad that Ava took and married your son, because
Yeah. Who else would? And I don't understand why. And I would definitely. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense that she would have married him. I don't believe that. In that town, I don't believe that she would have married and then stayed with him for that long. It's, I don't personally see it. I can't. Because I'm like, that makes no sense. This guy, even if he was like, oh, I'm with the bad guy or the bad boy or whoever, it's like, he's not only bad because obviously everything that happens, the best friend was always there with a notepad to jot that shit down and put in a letter for her. So
that was okay. Well, I could see Ava marrying him because think about it. She was in a small country town. She's the preacher's daughter, and here's this bad guy. You know how that goes. Now staying with him so long, now that I was like, okay. Because the parents were like, you wanted to prove to us that that you could make it work, prove to us, and so you married him to prove it, and you've proved it, so now let it go.
that's a dumb reason to marry somebody, to prove a point. That's a hell of a point to prove.
I mean, I guess she loved him and she was with him since they were teenagers. But my thing was, one thing it was hard to digest with this movie was, as the audience, it was difficult to get on board with her being that sad about her marriage dissolving, because it didn't seem like it was a place of love anyway. Like,
No.
he was mean since they were kids. Like, when she was telling the story about how he put oil on her dress at prom, she was like, you're so mean. It's like, so this Negro been mean since you've known him. Like,
yeah.
So it was really difficult for like the audience to get on board with her actually being sad about it. And I wish that there would have been more scenes that maybe either showed some good times, or maybe if like there was a scene that allowed him to redeem himself, but then, lose it again. Like, if he the next morning, like, ate her breakfast and kissed her and went off to work, but then he came home drunk or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he was so one note and so one dimensional. I was like, damn, do people like this even exist on Earth? I was like, this can't be a real person.
Yeah, and it's like it kind of created this vibe that is actually very present in Tyler Perry films, where like the bad guy is just bad all the way. There's no level of good, just bad, bad, bad. And the good is just good, good, good. Like when Meagan was talking in the car and she was like, he said no one would want 40-year-old P word. Like, she wouldn't even say the word. Like, so it's like nobody is all the way bad and nobody is all the way good. Like,
exactly.
most people live in, gray areas, and there might be some that are more bad or more good, but it's very rare you just meet somebody that's just like all the way bad. So it was like hard for the audience to believe that she actually loved him or was sad about him leaving. So we got some comments that says, it happens, but it would be great to see what she originally saw in him. Yeah, agreed. Sometimes you get used to dysfunction. This is true. Another comment, and you mourn the loss of the life you hoped would come. Very true. Very, very true. Okay. But yeah, I mean, and I do acknowledge that, yeah, that's absolutely true. And these things are possible. But it was just for like it being presented to an audience, like an entertainment perspective, is just it just didn't add up.
No,
Um,
it really didn't.
yeah.
And him wanting the divorce all of a sudden, it was like he just woke up one day and was like, you know what I want to do today? Divorce. He
Now,
was
but
hell bent on this divorce. Like all of a sudden, like when she came home from work, it seemed like he was like, I can't wait to divorce this motherfucker. Coming home from work, not ready to go because I'm ready to go. I was like, I don't understand how he had friends. I could not be this nigga's friend. Not never.
well,
Now I can tell you one thing.
His friend was so boring and lackluster. I could see where that I was like, dude, this guy is not. But
got one more time, buddy. You're gonna push me to the edge, buddy. I was like, you're not about to bust a grape, bro. You were scared of this guy. You were scared. You don't want to hurt this guy. You don't want anything to happen at all. You could tell. I was like,
he was straddling the fence so bad in this movie, and it was like, dude, I understand that's supposed to be your best friend, but pick a side, and you know your friend is wrong. So like, why are you just like, let me talk to him, let me talk him down. It's gonna be okay. Like, dude, if my friend was acting up like that, I'd be, dude, you need to chill. Like,
Thank you. Nobody ever tried to stop this guy. No one ever. Dallas was never. Nobody was ever like, Dallas, you out of pocket. Everybody was like, it's just Dallas being Dallas. You gonna do Dallas things, and then his brothers would be like, the only person who really had any control of him was his mama and his older brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just, and I feel like I'm not gonna say he didn't want the divorce. I don't think he knew what he wanted. I think he had gotten so much power and so much, I don't even know what to call it, from hurting her. He was really like, I don't know, almost addicted to hurting her. And I think bringing up that divorce, he was like, I know what to hurt her. And I think when she didn't react the way he wanted her to, he just kind of spiraled.
Yeah, but that was your own fault. Nobody was saying anything about a divorce. All of a sudden, you like, I know what I'll do today. After I get off of work, head on down to the lawyers, get this divorce. Like,
and he was yelling at her as if she had refused. He was like, you need to be there at 11. Sign the papers, Ava. And I was like,
she just found out about this divorce like 30 seconds ago. And you want her to already just be like, I don't know what he wanted. It did. That's why I was like, it made no sense. Like,
it was unclear.
There was no build up to the divorce. There was no where they was like, oh, we having these problems, or we're trying to do something and you're not trying to help, or I'm trying to do something you're not trying to help. It was just like, I'm mad, and it's Thursday, so divorce time, girl. I ain't playing. Come sign them papers. Like, I was like, this nigga tripping.
We got a comment saying he was using that divorce to hurt her for the embarrassment of the funeral. Which
but that was their own fault too. I fault Ava barely any in this other than staying with this dude. That's the only part I give her fault in. But
she get a pass for me for like everything. But the daddy, you know what? Let's talk about that funeral scene. Since it was the most popular scene and like everyone talking about it. I was 100% with the mom, and Ava's dad, he was wrong.
Yeah, he like, I was like, because I'm listening, I'm like, is this a funeral? I'm like, what is going on? And then it is a funeral. I'm like, this is how you preach at someone's funeral? Like, even if then don't say anything at all. Just be like, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Yeah, put this in the ground and let's go. Go eat some chicken. Because
see y'all at the repast. I'm out of here.
I don't like using somebody's grief as like a stepping stone to get on a soapbox. Because at the end of the day, this was this woman's child, and the whole family was trash. Don't get me wrong, the family was trash.
Oh yeah,
but they're still grieving. So why would you use somebody's grief to?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. And it seemed like, now that I think about it, it seemed like he was the catalyst to jumpstarting this whole situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like he was, but and I guess it probably would have happened either way, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess that scene kind of hit me personally.
Mm,
Um, because like when my father died, like he was
mm,
killed playing cards.
mm,
And I didn't worry about it, like the funeral. Um, but I was curious as to what was gonna be said during the funeral.
right, right, right.
And luckily our pastor, from our home church,
Mm,
he did a really good job with the eulogy,
mm,
and like it was a nice eulogy, and he said really good things about my dad, because even though like he was killed like playing cards, he was still a good person and people
right.
knew him, and like all of
Mm,
that was said, and I remember being very grateful and very thankful after the funeral, because like that whole time was a blur, so I don't really remember exactly what was said, but I remember feeling really good about it.
right, right.
So I just felt like this mother's anger, like, because
Mm,
if somebody would have like taken my father's death or something like that to be like, and that's the reason why you need to get your life right, like I would
but
have been
yeah,
angry, and I
yeah.
get it, like, and even though like this is an entirely different situation, but I just know how I would feel if that was done to me. And
Mm,
yeah, her kids were trash. They were awful, but people deserve to go on the ground peacefully. Like,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
don't
yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
So
I can understand. Yeah, I see what you're coming from. I can see why she was upset, but man, that was you really, really, really got to be really mad to be like, let's go get him, and
yeah.
like let's not just go get him, take him out of the casket.
At that point, I was like, yeah, and leave his old funky ass casket in that church. Let him keep that funky casket.
And then she was like taking off the clothes, and then I'm like, and then she was like, I don't need your hand me down, and I'm thinking, y'all not the same.
Hand it down from who? Because what, ma'am?
I'm like, whose clothes were these? Who was they handing them to? Who gave you these clothes?
They yes, I got a comment. He anticipated a response based off of how she typically responded, but she had reached her breaking point and was over it. He was not prepared for her to respond in a way that was unfavorable to him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Yes. But yeah, that funeral scene. But I know one thing. He was like, yo, I heard them people laughing at me, and I was like, yeah, I would have been in there like,
Um, I don't think they was laughing. I think they was more shocked than
what,
laughing.
nobody laughing? They was like,
Yeah, yeah. Like, what are y'all doing? And then I was like, if y'all would have did all that, like y'all could have did that from jump.
yeah.
Like
But
y'all was.
I that was the first time well, and the only time that I was on the mama side. I was like, yeah. Leave their old funky ass casket.
And the clothes. I was like,
Yes. But my question is, did they bury him in the yard just raw dog, like with no casket?
yeah, I believe they did. I think they did like you would do to a pet.
I,
Like,
I was like, that now
just,
that was unclear, and I really wanted answers, but I had to let it go. I have a comment. That's how men like that their minds work. Wait, that's how men like that minds work, though. Yeah, true. um, but yeah, so now, I'm gonna go back to what I said before we got started, that I did have some good things to say about this film.
okay. And I can't wait to hear them.
One, and it goes back to the question I asked, like, what would I change about this film? Okay, hold on to your drawers. there are some things that Tyler Perry does well. And I don't know if it's because he was raised by such an influential mother. Like you could tell, like when he's in that Medea character, he's channeling something.
Yeah.
And he doesn't write very well, but he does do like relationships between women very well. Like when women are talking to each other, when women are counseling each other, he does that really, really well. So there were scenes in this film between Ava and her mother that were really good. Between Ava and her best friend that were fairly good. Like the scenes where Ava went home and she was crying and her mother was comforting her and talking about her not telling her how proud of her she was. And then when she, that when they were after her mother read the letter, I felt like that was a very good interaction. So he writes for women and like female relationships pretty well. Like I said, he has consistently done that pretty good. Like you might be on social media and you see like the clips. Like you remember in the plays where Medea would be in the play, but she's kind of turning to the audience and talking like the Bible say, and go and start like giving these little, homespun wisdom things. Like he does that really well. And I feel like he's either sharing with us something that his mother has taught him or that his grandmother has taught him, whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But he does that really well. But he does not write well for villains. No. He does not write drama well.
No.
But there were some scenes that were done pretty good in this movie. Another thing I have to say is I don't understand why he is so attached to Atlanta. Like, this movie, when it first started getting into the meat of like when she went home and she was with her mother and her father, there was some really beautiful looking scenes of the country.
Yes.
Like when they're on the back of his pickup truck, the Benjis, the guys that she ends up with. When they're on the back of his pickup truck, there's like we have a comment. The letter scene was everything. Yeah, that was a really good scene. There was a shot of the camera shooting. It was like panning down to her laying on the pickup truck and him like making her something to drink with the fire going. That was a beautifully shot scene.
Yeah, it was.
And like the interaction between them was done really well. The scenes of the fair and the rides of the fair was really nice. The countryside, like just driving down the road in the pickup truck was done really, really nice. And when it first got into those scenes, I was like, oh, okay, so this is Tyler Perry's answer to like on Netflix and like all of these like white movies that have come out that have been like going home to the country, city girl goes home and finds love, like typical white films. Like, and it was like a lot of them that were released in the past few years. I'm like, okay, we're about to get a black version of this. I can get on board with that. We went right back to Atlanta, and it was like,
yeah, because it's only an hour and a half away, and we got plenty of gas. We ain't got to be in Atlanta traffic. We on the outskirts.
It made no sense. Like I was like, we could have gotten a really beautiful film, and it's almost like he tries to do too much while also not doing enough.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I felt like if we would have stayed in those country scenes and made it a nice country romance movie, but it's like he's always got to be, how can I just
get back to the A?
How can I surprise everybody and throw some drama in there, make a bomb explode? And it's like,
you don't need
we could have had a nice little black version of Bridges of Madison County or a black version of Sweet Home Alabama. Like, you don't need all that drama and all that stuff. And it's like,
yeah, I don't know. He
like in the feed store. Those scenes were beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a country girl, so maybe that just appeals to me. But it was just really nice, and it was and it gave way for a better story. It's sometimes you can keep things simple and it'll still be really nice.
Right.
So I don't know, but those are my two good things that I have to say. Do you have any good things to add?
Any good
Is there
thing?
anything that you enjoyed? And I know we'll go into our best, worst, weirdest, but I am curious. Was there anything?
I enjoyed. I don't know. It was. I mean, it wasn't like, now this is the worst movie I've seen in some years, but it wasn't like this is something that's unwatchable. It's something that if you sit down, you like you said, if you with a group of friends or you hanging out and it's on, you'll put your attention to it. You'll focus on. You'll see something. You'll be like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, that's pretty deep. But
You know what? Let me say this, and I'm gonna let you go back to that. I wanted. We got a comment that says, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up. The scenes, those scenes are organic because they were filmed in coastal Georgia. Like a lot of those film scenes were done in Savannah and like in coastal Georgia, and the Atlanta scenes were in the studio, and so that's why the feel is different. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's true. And we have yes, you said a mouthful. It's always a beautiful disaster. Yeah. But go on with what you were saying.
Oh no, that was it. It's hit and miss, and he misses the mark too much for me to be like, oh, that was great. Like, especially lately with his thrillers. I believe his thrillers are probably some of the worst things that he does. Like his comedies, they're enjoyable. They're comedies. I mean, you can get some laughs out of them. You can find something in there. You're like, oh, that was pretty good. But his thrillers and his dramas they're hard to stomach because they literally make no sense. I think of the movie he did, Acrimony, with Taraji P. Henson, and I'm like, at the end, I was like, what happened? Well, how did this go from? And that was on a better trajectory than this one, and it just at the end, it was like he was just like, oh, the movie has the end, so let me end it this way. And I'm like, well, what? Yeah. Why? You didn't have to, but he'd be like, on to the next project. And you'd be like, and they keep giving him money. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure Prime paid a pretty penny for this film.
Oh, and I also found out through research that this is just the first film in a 4-picture deal that he has with Amazon Prime. So we're going to be treated to more.
Treated poorly? Yes, I feel I was being treated poorly. But they also said that this was the most money that these actors had made in roles, and I was like,
yeah, I saw where like Cory Hardrict said that, and you know that's what is just the most insulting thing, because these actors, you can tell. Like Meagan Good is an amazing actress. You know?
Yeah, established. She's known. She's been in so many different projects, not projects. Like she's been in films that you like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she's been acting since she was a child, and she deserved more. And it's like he is able to pay enough money to get really seasoned actors in his works, but he just gives them nothing to work with. Yeah. And you could tell, like Meagan is giving her all. Cory is giving his all.
Yeah, because I hadn't really seen him much in anything, but I was like, oh, okay. He's like, it was a comment I saw, and it was like, I see why Tia divorced him. He's a terrible person. I'm like, they know this is just a movie, right?
I saw comments like that too, and I was like, but then I was like, well, maybe they'll start leaving Tia alone because they've really been dumping on her for divorcing him, and for whatever her reasons are, You know, that's their marriage. I don't know nothing about that. But if she did, if it was just as simple as she didn't want to be married anymore, then that's her choice. Like, people have really been ragging on her, like, and you don't know the inner workings of their marriage.
But just that comment, I was like, well, I guess he was very convincing because they think that this guy is really like this in real life.
I believe he was a convincing villain, but the lines, the script was just nothing. Like, he said to her, "I'll slap your nose off."
I hollered. Oh man, it was so much slapping going on. The part where where the dad is showing her this VCR clip of her happy times and sad times. I'm like, who is splicing this together? I know how VCRs work. You don't just have snippets of moments that you just fast forward to in the right exact spot.
And I was like, nah, he had a little scene where he's like, come to the computer. And he was like, I had all the home movies digitized. Look, I want to show you something. But on a VCR, come on now.
And you hitting the right spots. But the part where the Dallas's mama comes and slaps the bouquet out her hand, I lost it. I couldn't contain myself. I was hollering because it was so like, why? It made no sense.
Why?
There's not even a backstory that would be able to explain why she slapped that bouquet out of her hand. Like,
yeah. So one of my friends that came over to watch it with us, she was like, instead of having all that Atlanta stuff, we could have had a really good country movie where it talked about maybe there was a backstory between these two families. These two families did not get along, but it was kind of like a Romeo and Juliet thing where the son and the daughter got married and then there was bad blood. And then we could have had some backstory with Dallas's dad, with his mom, with the brothers, and like things going on with the church. Like, that would have been...
Yeah, that would have been But
that would have been interesting.
But she had to be back to Atlanta in a week. They only gave her a week off.
Yeah, she only got a little bit of PTO.
Yeah, so PTO was finished. She had to get back.
I was like...
And they kept going back and forth. I'm like, you don't drive an hour and a half like it's a 15-minute drive.
And then when the dad was going to go confront the Bertrands, and the mom was like, hurry, I'll be there in an hour and 15 minutes. I mean, everybody would be dead before you get there. What?
I understand the sheriff was worthless because he acted like he needed video proof for any and everything that was going on. Like, bruh, how was you doing this before video happened? Would you just let crimes happen because you didn't see it?
There's no proof. There's no proof.
And I'm like, that's not how anything works. Someone was shot.
First of all, in a country town, all they needed was a whiff of some guilt, and they would have strung all them Negroes up. But okay.
You ain't never lied, but man, you shot the preacher, and did you just put him in the hospital and nothing happened? They said nothing happened. Someone was shot
on their property.
Yeah, something did happen.
and then, you know, the thing is, that's another thing that a problem I've always had with Tyler Perry. Like, because he does not call in any help, any consultants, he is just so disrespectful to people's professions. Like, okay, yeah, you can say what you want about police work and how they do whatever, but there is protocol and they have policy. Like, you bring the sheriff in and the only thing he says is there's no proof. Like,
do you have it on tape? Like, what? No, I don't have it on. What do you mean? Do I have it on? Did you see him poisoning your animals?
Yeah, no, and there was nothing. I could see if the Bertrands were this prominent family, then yeah, the sheriff might come and be there's no. Everybody knew, so it would not take a lot for you to believe. And I understand people have due process and all of that stuff, but
you got to at least first 48 them. You got to at least put them in the room
Thank you. He didn't
and interrogate him.
unless it was done off camera, but he didn't go to the house.
They were
Didn't
sitting there
interrogate
drinking,
them.
having a good time, listening to music.
Yeah, he didn't question them or nothing. He was just like, there's no proof.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, even the most shadiest of police officers would have done due diligence and then would at least came back and be like, they said they didn't do it. Like,
yeah, he was like, we took their word for it. They said nothing happened, even though this man is shot and in the hospital. But
yeah, on their property now.
Yeah, you live and you learn.
That was all he had to offer them. Like this, and it's just like, and I've seen Tyler Perry do this so many times. Like people who, like nurses, lawyers, like it's like he just guesses what they do. Cause like that scene in what was the movie?
Mia Coupe?
No, the one before that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Where the guy, he married the older woman and then he just turned crazy.
Straight bitch. That one.
Yes.
Like, I forgot the name of that movie, but yeah, I didn't.
It was pray something. I can't remember. But there was a scene where it was a cop and his wife was a lawyer, and I think something happened to him, and he got a call while he was arresting somebody, and he had the person in handcuffs, and he was like, he had him leaning on the car. He was about to put him in the back of the squad car, and he got a call like, "Oh, your wife's in danger," and he just left the person in handcuffs. He just left, and I was like, "Okay."
That's how you do it. You just leave. When something happens, you just drop everything, no matter what you're doing.
Now I understand you get an urgent call, you got to go. But I'm sorry, even the worst police officer, there ain't no officer that's going to leave a suspect or somebody in custody of handcuffs and just leave. That is a lawsuit. You cannot do that. That is and it now, any officer would have been, took him out of handcuffs and been like, all right, you got to wait today because I got to go.
Yeah.
But leaving somebody in handcuffs, that is a lawsuit. No officer would do that. And it's like, you can tell that somebody is like guessing at how people do their jobs, how lawyers do their jobs, how nurses do their jobs, how teachers do their jobs.
But I think even a child has a basic understanding of how these professions are done.
And I think that's what he's using, a basic understanding. And it's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful to these people in these professions. And I wish you could just know that. But yeah, so. Well, do you have any final thoughts?
I do want to know, why do you think people are so, I wouldn't say protective, but just so supportive of Tyler Perry? Like they're like to a fault, because he hasn't put out anything that is of a high standard in a very long time. Especially since he started doing his own writing, directing, and whatever else he want to do.
You want to answer first and then I'll answer, or you tell me?
I think it's all based on his early work. And I believe that people thought that it was so original, so based in what's going on in the Black community. It felt like he was holding a mirror to the Black community and was like, this is how I see you all. Like when he did Family Reunion and he did all these other films that were just like, he was like, man, you see the unity, you also see some bad things, but you also see how he puts it all together. And it's not just bad. It's like, okay, we all got together for some good and it was good and it makes you feel good. And at the end, it has a happy ending. And you have those memories, because I remember watching his first, few films, and I was like, this is really good stuff. And then he kept doing some of the plays, and I was like, this is really good stuff. But then, like, I don't know where the turn went, but it turned, and like people are still like, this is good. And I'm like, how, where, when, why? This is not good at all. This is horrible. This is garbage. And he keeps returning the same garbage out over and over and over again. And nobody's like, I think you need to stop, Tyler Perry. Like that.
Well, I don't know. That's a loaded question. Like I people have loved Tyler Perry since the plays, and I feel like it was one of the first instances of for us by us.
Mm-hmm.
And the plays were hilarious. It was something that hadn't been done before. Like, of course, they were Christian plays, but he made these plays so relatable. Like, he was cursing in them and stuff like that. And it was like, and that's how normal people are. Yeah.
Exactly.
We say, but we curse a little. And,
oh,
excuse me.
Goodness gracious, you good?
Popcorn went down wrong.
Oh.
But I don't know. And I guess maybe he feels like if he changes and adopts a more mainstream way of creating films, that people will call him a sellout. I don't know. But I think there's also the excitement of being able to watch somebody grow. Like we seeing him like working the Chitlin circuit of getting these plays out in the beginning, and now he's owns a major studio where he's making these huge budget films, and we feel like we've watched his growth and his trajectory. So I don't know, but I acknowledge that, like I said before, he has a target audience, and these films land every time with his target audience. Like my mama, these films, mama came over to watch it last night, and that was a good movie. That might have been one of the best films he's ever done. And I was just looking at her like,
oh my goodness.
But that is his audience. Like older Black Christian women. Yeah, that's his audience. And so we have a comment that says, 1, his plays were solid. 2, he is self-made. 3, he has found his lane and built a brand on done is better than perfect. There you go. Done is better than perfect. I really think he really subscribes to that. And 4, it's something to occupy time and not really make you dig deep, because that can be stressful. 100%. And she said all of our suggestions were horrible, and she loved it just the way it was. Yes. My mom was like, I disagree, because I was like, this is what I would have done. Like all of us were like, yeah, this could have been and Mom was like, I thought it was great. That was a good film. It's one of his best films. And I was, were we watching the same movie? But yeah, but I mean, she is his target audience. And I'm like friends with a lot of older Black women, and the ones that were commenting on her were like, that was a good film. That was a nice movie. And I guess
do you think there's just no one else to fill that void that could put out anything worthwhile that people would equally say, oh, that's good, and it actually be good?
What you mean? Ask that again. Like, what do you mean?
Like, because there's nobody else really out there that's really, other than what's his last name, Talbert, who does those other films, like he did last Christmas or something like that. He does plays as well, and he started doing feature films. I think his films are pretty good. I think they're better than Tyler Perry films. I can't remember his name.
One of his
last name is it Last Christmas with Danny Glover, Monique thing.
Oh, I enjoy that movie so much.
Yeah. He also does like shows. I think he has a show on BET Plus that he does. And I think he's like, he's kind of in that lane, but he's not. I don't believe he's as popular as Tyler Perry. And he can't because I don't remember his name, but I know his last name. I think it's Talbert, if I'm remembering correctly. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, just let me know.
Ryan Coupe, David E. Tolbert.
Yes, him. I think he's
Okay.
kind of in that similar lane where it's like
I didn't
feel
know that.
good black films. He does plays, he does shows, but he doesn't have Tyler Perry money. He's not a billionaire, but he still puts out really good quality stuff. And I'm just wondering, like, is that the reason that we are sticking to Tyler Perry? Is because he has the resources and we know he's going to put something out and we know it's going to be for black peoples, for the older black Christian crew? Is that why we aren't like turning our nose up or like going away from him totally and going to someone else? Because I think there's some other options out there. I just think people are so used to Tyler Perry that they're just like, whatever he does, we're behind it 100%. And I understand, yeah, he's self-made. That's great and all. But sometimes you got to put something out of quality, something out of substance, something out that people will remember, not just anything just because you can.
But I think one of the reasons why he is doing better than this guy is I'm looking at this guy's body of work, and he did the Jingle Jangle movie and Almost Christmas.
I love that. Yeah, Almost Christmas. Okay, I knew it was something about Christmas.
I think that people are loyal to Tyler because he hit a market that is full of loyal people. Like when you tap into that Christian fan base, like we've seen pastors who have gotten really big and famous, and we've seen them do wrong things, and people are still like, y'all just misunderstand him. Like Christian people be real loyal. Like even like look at how things are hidden away in the church, like in the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
things are hidden, and like you can have a pastor that slept with the whole congregation, but he'll still be the pastor. Like, so I think he is tapped into a loyal fan base.
Okay, so it's like they wouldn't move on him no matter what. No matter what he put out. They treat him
like he's the messiah of black cinema, and it's like, okay.
Say okay.
Tyler Perry comment. Tyler Perry audience watch Young and the Restless. So the bar is low on what the plot development has to be. Yeah. Just keep it rolling. So yeah. You have any final thoughts?
No. I think we talked about this pretty decently. I believe we hit all the highs and the lows. Yeah. Mostly the lows.
Mostly the lows with you. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go into best, worst, weirdest. This is a portion of our podcast where we talk about the best part of the film, the worst part of the film, and the weirdest part of the film. So we each give our opinion on those. And Terrell, show them how it's done.
All right. Let's see. Best part of this film, I would say, would be the cast. I thoroughly enjoyed the cast. I think they really worked hard. I think they really put their all into it. And so, yeah, definitely the casting, it was done very well. Worst part of the film was the plot. It was such nonsense. It was a nonsense plot. It was just a bunch of things thrown against the wall. And then they was like, let's make a movie. And that's exactly what they did.
With what fell on the floor.
Yeah. Pick that up. A letter was describing everything bad that someone's ever done to you, written by another person. Man, and the weirdest part of this film was just the constant, and it seemed like it said it'd take an hour and a half, but they had to stay closer because every time, like this dude was at the girl job, at the grocery store, hiding behind a tree. He was everywhere, all at the same time. Like, why is he everywhere? And that funeral scene, that was weird. I'm sorry. I don't know how people get down. I mean, I'm from a small town, but I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Where they was like,
Yeah.
bump that, grab the body, we out of here. Like, never
Not
have
grab
I
the
ever.
body. We have a comment that says the best part was when it was over. Wow.
Clap,
Well,
clap, bravo.
you're not wrong. Okay, for me, the best part was, like I said earlier, those country scenes were beautiful. Some of them were just shot really, really well. Actually, I have a lot of best. Meagan Good looked amazing. The body was bodying. She was gorgeous, which is, just really drives home that she deserved more.
Even though they kept playing on her age, I was like, how many times they gonna bring up her age? I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40. I'm 2 years from 40. I'm 6 years from 40. I'm like, how old is she? Is she
Yeah, and then
old?
she finally said, "I'm 37." I was, girl, bye. So, but yeah, Meagan Good looked absolutely stunning. And, this was a Tyler Perry film. So the wigs could have really been wiggy, but her hair looked amazing.
I think she brought her own people in on that.
I do believe so, because Tyler Perry will put you in a terrible wig. Even when she tussled with that body getting it down the stairs, she was like, all right, well, going to work. And she still looks amazing.
That part, that really made me mad.
That was a lot. Whoa, we have a comment that says, I've been to a funeral where they were shooting. Wait, whoa, okay, first off.
Well, I need to hear this. Now, that should have been a movie.
and not explain that. I will be looking at the comments, but I need you to explain. I need more backstory on that one. Yeah. I need more backstory, Tyler Perry.
That's who's in the comments right now. Oh, y'all didn't like the funeral scene? Well, they were shooting at the next one. Like,
Yes. Or private message me if you don't want Tyler Perry to steal your idea in the next movie. Oh goodness. So yeah, the country scenes, the interaction between like the friends and Ava and her mother was really good. Let's see. Worst was just the plot. It could have just been, he could have really made it simpler and that would have made it better, or he could have went more complex and gave us a deeper story. Either one of those would have been fine with me, but that writing the middle where he like just wasn't enough. It was too much and it wasn't enough all at the same time.
It happened just because, like, that's not a reason for stuff that happened in the movie. Because I wrote it that way.
Exactly. Now take it and shut up. Which is like really the gist of all of his films now. Take it and shut up. Yeah. The weirdest would be, like, I know it is, Tyler Perry has shared a million times, like he was raised by women like his mom, but it's like, did he know any men growing up? Like, because the way he writes men, they are villains. And yeah, there's some trash men out there.
Yeah.
But like the way he writes and develops these characters, they are villains, not even in their actions, but the way they look. Why would you have Cory Hardrict with this 1970s Dolomite fro with some mutton chops?
Yeah, they was all the way down.
and some gold teeth. Like,
I guess he was trying to get that Georgia feel. That
he looked like he was a villain from the 70s. Like, if I was waiting on him to call her a jive turkey, like that look, it was like okay. It was real, just Dolomite in the hood.
Not Dolomite.
It was a very, very strange choice. So, but yeah, that's my best worst weirdest. Let's move into happy hours. This is part of our podcast where we choose a character to have a drink with. Who you having a drink with? Open up the bar, Terrell.
Okay, I'm gonna have a drink with them boys' mamas. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. Why are y'all like this? Why is your family like this? Why did you have seems like your youngest child kill your husband?
Go with a Bertrand. And I was like, how many times does she have to say that for us to know that they the Bertrands? Like, every time the camera got on her, that was, we the Bertrands. We don't deal with that. We the Bertrands. Like
like when she slapped the flower with her hands.
We the Bertrands, isn't it?
We out.
Okay, we just asked who was giving her away. We didn't.
Just know, just in case you forgot.
Yeah. So, but honestly, I'm having a cocktail with her too because I need to know. I need to know more about the
I got to, because y'all are too much for this town. I'm surprised they ain't run y'all out of. Usually they run people like that out of a town, especially a small town like that. They get you the hell up out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, all the boys would have been locked up. Yeah. They would have been locked up.
From juvie on, or they were like, well, we just wait until you turn 18 so GSP can get their hands on you.
Yeah. I was like, who are just letting them just run rampant like that? Yeah, usually in small country towns, they would have locked all them boys up, even the baby.
Not the baby.
A little troublemaker in the making. We have a comment that says, his dad was horrible and his mom and aunts were his heroes. He still needs to do some healing because it shows up in the film. Yet it is familiar to many, so I guess it works. Yeah. Oh, talking about Tyler Perry.
Perry. His upbringing.
He, like, the way he writes these villains, like it be cartoony.
Like, it'd be real bad. Because he went from just being an asshole to like just being like, he was trying to be diabolical, but he didn't know how to fully do it. So he was like, I'm just gonna do stuff. Like, what are you? I'm gonna sit outside her job. Then I'm gonna come inside her job. Then I'm gonna say stuff. You want to lose your job? I was like, well, how is she gonna lose her job? Because you in her face yelling at her. Like, that ain't how you can lose a job. But okay.
It was so weird.
Then I'm gonna show up at my best friend's house. Then I'm gonna just walk in the house. I ain't got to knock because we best friends. Like,
I need me a woman. I was like, what are you talking about?
That party was weird. That's another thing.
It was real. Like, he kept showing up like Tyler Perry does these men like villains, like cartoon. Like, he was showing up like Voldemort. Like, every movie, like every scene, he was like, ah.
When he was sitting eating that cereal, I was like,
yeah,
Meagan Good could have warned that dude. Meagan Good could have said something. Not wait till he get all the way in the room and be like, Benji, it's too late now. Benji is gripped up. you got Benji
got punched away.
For no reason.
Yeah. God, it was just a lot.
It was.
It was a lot of not enoughness.
Next time, Tyler Perry, you got 3 more times to impress me.
Yeah, you're gonna need more drinks.
Yeah, I think next time I'm gonna have to make the drink.
Well, what you binging on this week, T-Rex?
Man, I've been watching Supercell on Netflix. I know we were talking bad about Netflix, but I've been watching Supercell and it's really good.
I heard that it was good. It's on my list.
Oh, whatever. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Supercell it's only 6 episodes.
Oh, it's short? Okay, maybe I can watch it.
It's only six episodes. And I can't wait till the next season. I haven't seen the last episode, but yeah, once I see that, I'll be
okay. I haven't been binging on anything except for my usual. I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want to hear your damn funky ass mouth. So for the next week, everything gonna be funky.
Yeah, I hear that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I don't have anything. Like, watching this movie was a nice little break from my usual viewings. And I realized that I watched the same thing over and over again. One, because I love that show, but Supernatural. But because I'm so overwhelmed with so many choices, I'd be like, you know what? Let me just watch my Ready Steady. We have so many choices when it comes to TV now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It is ridiculous.
So it would be like a million things on my list, and I'm like, I can't choose. Let me just
go back to what I know. But that's not, I don't know. I give it a try. I was like, because I saw the preview for it. I was like, oh, this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I caught it and enjoyed it.
Well, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch Your Honor too.
I saw the first episode of that, and I was like, intense. To me,
yeah,
I was like, whoa.
I heard it, and so people have been talking about it. So I'm gonna give that a try. We got a comment that said love Supercell. So yeah, like I said, it's on my list. I'm gonna watch it, and if it's only 6 episodes, maybe I can knock it out. So
yeah, you can. They're about an hour long. It's not crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah. Any final thoughts before Terrell takes us out?
I think that is everything. Everybody good to go. All hearts and minds are clear.
Yes. All right. Well, take us out, T-Rex.
All right. Well, that's our show. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. We had a great time discussing divorce in the black. And we hope you enjoyed listening to our thoughts and insights. If you want to know more about Sips and Scripts, head over to our website, sipsandscripts.com, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Sips and Scripts Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, whether it's to suggest a film or to share your thoughts on today's episode, or if you want to say hey, drop us a DM on social media and we'll get back to you. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Boom, boom, boom.
Alrighty.
Boom, boom, boom. You still drinking that? You sipping that thing slow as hell, ain't it?
No,
it might not have been that good.
No, it was some more in the. Shut up, Negro. I refilled it.
Because usually you be like, that was tasty. That was good. And I'll be sitting here like, somebody bring me
No, I refilled it, you jerk.